I'm going to do what I've seen many people do and record my call to the magistrates court regarding my council tax liability order. Now, I've just rang their number. I'm going to try it again because I rang the Oxford Magistrates Court number because South Oxford District Council is sending me a liability order for the third time this year for a different amount again, for a different date. And I just spoke to a girl on their, what do they call it? I just called the Courts and Tribunals Service Centre, spoke to Lucy. She said the account number doesn't have a letter at the end of it. She said the case number doesn't exist and she can't find anything for that case, for me, in any way. So then I said to her, well, you know, how do I complain? I'm not getting any response by email. And then she said, you can only email or ring our centre, but they can't see anything for me. And I said, okay, but I'm about to go to this apparent court summons in a few days, and you're saying there's nothing on your system for it. So I'm now going to try and call again. I'm actually going to record this. So let's see what they say, because I'm trying to get the proof that I got verbally in the first summons in March that there is no court case and it's a room hired by the council. So let's see what I can get done here.
For calling His Majesty's Courts and Tribunals Single Justice Service.
These people.
If you are a wealthy,
they're so incompetent.
Please redial 0300 303 5172. We record our calls for monitoring and training.
So do I know.
To improve the service we deliver. If you want to know more about how we handle your personal data, visit www.gov.uk/HMCTS. We kindly request that you treat our staff with the same respect and courtesy you would like to receive. Our team members
they should
are here
do the
to
same
assist
thing.
you, and we appreciate your patience. A positive interaction ensures the best possible experience for everyone. If you have completed the post-court options web link sent to you via email, please allow 6 months for the court to get in touch. Please check your emails regularly. If you're calling regarding a council tax matter, we are unable to assist on this matter. Please contact your local council.
They will not talk to anyone about it now because it must be happening a lot.
Please press 1 if you are a professional court and tribunals user. Please press 2 for anyone else. Or
never get.
Please have your case number or URN to hand when your call is answered, to assist our call handlers to locate your case and provide you with the information you require. You now have 4 options to choose from. Please listen carefully before making your choice. If you're calling to pay a court fine, please press 1. If you are a member of the press or media, press 2. If you're calling about a prosecution for a railways offence, please press 3.
They just don't want to deal with anything to do with council tax now. We won't talk to anyone about it. Must be too many of us doing it.
And would like more information, please visit our website, www.gov.uk, and search for Single Justice. Here you will find details of what to expect and the next steps. To hear this message again, please press 9. You can now end your call, or to speak with someone, please press 1. Thank you for calling HMCTS today. We would like to invite you to take a survey at the end of your...
Thank you for agreeing to take part in our survey. You will receive a text message.
I always say I'll take part in the survey because I suspect you get through better.
Our phone lines are open between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Calls not answered by 5 p.m. will be disconnected automatically. There is an estimated wait time message that will indicate Current time to answer your call.
It was 10 minutes last time before Lucy hung up.
PM. Please call back on
It's
the
3
next
o'clock.
working day.
So I've got plenty of time.
Your call is important to us. Please stay on the line and we will get to you as soon as we can.
Oh, hello. Yes, my name is Rachel Winterbottom.
Okay, and are you going to do yourself or somebody else?
For myself.
And do you have a case reference number or an account number?
I do. I was just speaking to somebody, but she hung up on me and said that the case number wasn't recognised. So we got cut off, I hope. But anyway, it's case number 116257 at Oxford Magistrates Court, Speedwell Street.
A unique reference number.
Okay, I have no URN, but there is an account number on here. It's 46293465.
The account number would have a at the end.
Yeah, that's all I've got on the letter here. So I can give you the date of the court hearing and the time and my name.
Right, that's come through the wrong number. Can you give the spelling of your first name, please?
For Oxford, South Oxfordshire Magistrates Court on Speedwell Street.
Let's try and find the case.
Yeah, I'm just checking. You said I'd come through on the wrong number, so I'm just checking that you do cover the courthouse in Oxford. Right.
You're not the court.
No, I know you're not the court. You're their call centre, yeah?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just checking you cover the courthouse, Speedwell Street, Oxford. I think you cover that in part of your area because you do multiple ones, don't you?
We do the entire country.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully I have come through to the right number. I've spoken to someone on this last time about the previous court hearing. I didn't have a problem then.
Winterbottom, literally like the two words.
Yeah.
So WINTERBOTTOM.
Yeah, no gaps.
There's nothing coming up for either of for your name anywhere. Right. On the system.
Do you want the date or anything?
No, I need realistically you should be able to come find it from your name.
Right.
There's nothing coming up. When did you get the letter?
I got it this morning. It's my third summons this year, so I don't know why I keep getting summons. I turned up to the one in March. I didn't go to the one last month in May, so I didn't expect to get another one now.
I'm not sure. Well, I think I can't really tell you anything without looking at a case.
Yeah. So how can I give you? What can I give you the information to find my case with this court?
I need a unique reference number. If you've been given a fine, I need the account number.
I've only got the account number I gave you, which doesn't have a letter. I've got the case number. It was issued on the 23rd of May, and I'm summoned to the courthouse, Speedwell Street in Oxford, at 2 o'clock on the 13th of June. My name, my address.
It might have to be that you've called the wrong number then as well.
So what number do I call? Who deals with this?
It's the Single Justice Service, but if we're going to court, then it might actually call in the crime number.
It's just a court hearing at the courthouse, Speedwell Street. It's not a criminal offence or a court in that sense. This is the number that's on the letter. Yeah. Well, yeah, as far as I know. I don't know. It's very confusing.
I can't tell you anything when I can't see the case or anything.
No, I know. I don't. It's just really bizarre because you know, I've been to court before, and normally you go there and you know what's going on, but I don't know why I've been summoned again, and I don't know the details or what court it's in or anything. So I just need some help understanding. But I have a letter here saying you're hereby summoned for a hearing at 2 o'clock on the 13th of June before the magistrates sitting at the courthouse, Speedwell Street, Oxford, to show why a liability order should not be made against you, but this is the third one in a row this year. And there's nothing listed at this magistrates court in my name and for me, so I don't know what court it is and what to do and why I'm getting a third one in a row. What happened to the one last month and what happened to the one in March? And the one in March I attended.
I can't give you an answer.
So there's definitely nothing there for me in any way that you can find on this system. No. No, it wasn't. It wasn't showing it before. Yeah. What case number?
Yeah.
116257.
116257.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to put you on hold and see if anyone else can do anything.
Alright, thank you.
Thanks. Thanks for holding. Do you know what the offence is?
What the what is, sorry?
The offence.
This is South Oxfordshire District Council bringing me in for a court hearing for unpaid council tax.
Right, okay, so we don't actually deal with council tax.
Well, I know, but you are the magistrate, you deal with the magistrates court holding it, so I'm just trying to find out what court.
So this is actually something that's under our, under what we deal with. I'm just going to pop you on hold and I'll get you the right number to call because single justice service isn't the right one.
But do you not, I thought you dealt with the court rooms.
For the court what, sorry?
For the rooms in the courts.
No.
Right, well this is the number I rang before.
Right.
Yeah, if you can get me another number, that would be great.
This one, yeah.
Right.
No, what we deal with is giving advice on making pleas and if people need to dispute their case and it's normally for things like speeding and stuff.
Yeah, this is the number I was given on the letter and on the website for the magistrates. So I've been emailing and just not getting a list. Okay, if you can let me know what number. All right, thank you. You just get passed around. They've got no record of me on there, and this is actually their service centre, so they should at least be able to find my name and a courtroom for me, and it doesn't exist because it's all BS. I'm bored. Yep.
808
Yep.
4407.
Sorry, what's your name?
Anisha.
Anisha, I've just spoke to Lucy on the crime number and she said a liability order and council tax is not a crime, and it isn't. It's not a criminal offence, it's not a crime. And she told me that I couldn't ring the crime number and that I had to ring this number, and I'm getting passed back and forth.
We don't do that's not something single justice service deals with.
I don't want anyone to deal with the council tax. I just want to know what courtroom I'm in if I'm actually booked in on that day.
Justice service, so I don't have any access to see what courtrooms are available. I can't go to your case as it is anyway, so I can't do anything about that. The only thing I have to do is I've been told that anything council tax related would be a crime, and they'd be the ones that are able to look into your case.
I've just been told the opposite, though, that it's not a crime. They can't see anything either, and I shouldn't be ringing the crime number, which I didn't ring, so I must have got through to them by mistake. And Lucy said they only deal with crime. Liability orders are not a criminal offence. It's not a crime status, and to have rang your number. And I'm getting a bit lost and passed around here because even when I email the email address that I've been given, I'm not getting a response, and I just keep getting told we don't deal with council tax. But if I'm being summoned to this court, I need to speak to somebody at this court to ask what room am I in.
Directly then.
Well, how do I do that? Because I've been told I have to ring these numbers and I can't contact the court directly. Do you have a direct number for Oxford Court?
No, there'll be an email or you can find a number for them on Google probably. I can give you the email address for them.
I've got the email and I've been ignored for 4 months. And this is what I said to... Yeah, that's what Lucy said. And then I've tried all the numbers that are on the letter, on the website and on Google. And I'm either getting through to someone like Lucy on the criminal side or someone like yourself on the justice side. And I'm going around in circles because I can't actually... Nobody can find me or this courtroom on a system.
Have you called the federal number that's on Google for the Oxford Court to see?
Yeah, I did that first, yeah. And then I got through to Lucy and she said that's the wrong number too.
58020.
Yep, that's when I got Lucy before, and she turned around and said, there's no record of me, my name, or that, and she, you know, she said there's no case number with that, she couldn't either, and then she told me to ring your number because it wasn't criminal.
You've not called the crime number yet then?
Yeah, I got through to Lucy on the crime number by ringing that 01865 448020 number, which was their local number. And I said to her, well, I didn't actually ring the crime number because I know it's not a criminal offence. So she said, well, you've come through to the crime on that number. And she gave me your number because it wasn't that number. And I'm just going round in circles here. But nobody seems to have my court hearing anywhere in my name.
Unfortunately, I think you can try and ring the crime number again. I'm sorry that no one's able to help you, but that's as far as I can sort of help you to give you those numbers.
But you can't even look up any hearing room for me because it's the wrong case numbers and everything.
That I've even been trained to use. I don't know how to do that. So I'm just part of the criminal justice service, like I said, so I'm able to look for the small offences that people are getting fined for, essentially.
Right.
And then, yeah, and your name's not coming up with anything on either of my systems.
Well, I think it's because the council hires a courtroom and it's not actually a court case. Because when I showed up in March, I went into the courtroom and I was told I wasn't allowed to speak. It wasn't set up as a court hearing, even though there was 3 people who looked like judges or magistrates and I wasn't given their name. And I'm trying to identify, is it going to be the same setup or is it a proper hearing this time? Because this is what I've requested. And it seems to me like the council are just hiring a room in the court. And I don't...
Be able to check. There's no way for me to... I wouldn't even know because I don't deal with anything council related. I didn't even know that they hire rooms, I'm afraid. So it's not really information that I can't tell you anything because I wouldn't want to give you the wrong advice or anything because I don't actually know myself. Others that have checked what I can. I've been talking to one of my colleagues alongside this, and one of our experts, and they've said that it was a council tax offence based on the crime number, so it would be crime that would be able to deal with the situation.
Really? Because that's what they said, that it's a crime because it's going through the magistrates, not the criminal courts. The magistrates is not a criminal. Well, it is. It's an unpaid bill. It's not a crime. It's not CCJ. Yeah.
The service, as I said, is just for like the fines and stuff like that. So it's just for like speeding or no insurance on cars and TV licensing and things like that. So the criminal justice service is ideally so it doesn't have to go to the court. That's what that is. Crime doesn't mean it's a criminal case. It's just everything else, essentially.
Well, that's what Lucy told me earlier, that it's not a criminal case, shouldn't go through that and then ring yours. So, right, I'll go back and try and ring that number.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I keep getting this. All right, I'll try again.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, apologies for that.
Cheers, bye.
Thank you, bye.
Lucy hung up on me before, so she couldn't help me.
For CTS, please dial 03308 084 407. That is 03308 084-407.
Okay. 2. If you're a member of press or media, press 9 to sign daughter.
God, I'm really bored.
Our phone lines
Very
are
time
open
wasting.
between 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Saturdays and bank holidays. Calls not answered by 5 p.m. will be disconnected automatically. There is an estimated wait time message that indicates current time to answer your call. We apologize if your call is...
Self-pay calling someone else.
For myself.
Is there a case reference number or a URN or account number I can take, please?
I have the account number and the case number, but I keep getting passed around to different numbers and told they're not the right ones, but I'll give it a go with you because I'm told that you are the right number. It's case number 116257.
I'm sorry, repeat that one. Did you cat you said?
116257.
16257.
Yep.
What's the account number?
46293465.
46293465.
65.
What is it concerning today?
So I've got a letter saying I'm summoned for a hearing at 2 o'clock on the 13th of June at the Courthouse, Speedwell Street, Oxford, but nobody can find me or my court case, and I just want to ask what it's about, what room it's in, who's going to be there, and I'm not getting any information at all.
Right, okay. You don't know what it's about yourself.
Oh, it's the council tax are summoning me for a liability order at this magistrate's court.
You need to speak to your local authority regarding that.
Yeah, but they're not the magistrates. They don't know anything about what courtroom it is or anything. So I have to ring the magistrate's court that I'm being summoned to in order to find out what court I'm in and where I'm named, because it doesn't look like I'm there.
The thing is where I work, so we're the first point of contact for magistrates' courts around the country. Say it's taking place in Oxford, this hearing.
Yeah, and I've rang the Oxford number that somebody gave me.
So yeah, we're the first point of contact for magistrates' court. We handle queries for them. The reason why we wouldn't be able to find it on our system is that we don't deal with, we only deal with criminal matters in the magistrates' court, which doesn't include council tax. It wouldn't appear on our system. So whenever we get calls like this, we'd advise you to speak to a local authority, and they should be able to confirm for you which room is taking place in, because they're the ones who are taking the court.
The council said they don't because it's at the magistrates and they don't know till the day, and I'm being told that there's not even a courtroom and my name assigned there, and the council have just hired a room, and I need to find out what's going on because I already showed up once and was told it wasn't a court hearing and I couldn't talk. So this is the third liability order I've been summoned for now, and I want to understand from the magistrate's court itself what is going on, because the council seem completely incompetent.
We don't deal with queries concerning non-criminal matters, such as this one, so I can't give any information regarding it because I don't know. We don't deal with council tax matters. What we would say is that you would need to speak with your local authority because they're the ones who are ultimately taking this to court.
They don't know and they don't answer anyway. They don't know because they just keep saying you have to contact the magistrates because it's at their hearing. Yeah, I don't know what it is either. I mean, but I know, I get that, but the council is telling me that the magistrate's court is summoning me for a hearing. But you're telling me they're not. That's why it's not on your system, and I have to. Yeah.
Prosecutor or somebody to take to court. They're the ones who decide this matter needs to be taken to court.
Yeah, and that didn't happen in March. Yeah, but
the local authority. So
yeah.
The magistrate's court wouldn't say, okay, you need to come to court for a council tax matter. That'd be your local authority.
Okay.
They shouldn't be. That's not. We would say that when it your only questions regarding a council tax matter, you would need to speak with your local authority. I can give you the email address for Oxford Magistrates Court. You can by all means send them an email.
I've got their email. And I've got one response on the 22nd of April, and saying that they acknowledged my receipt. Email will look into it and get back to me. And then they've ignored every email from then on. So what? So yeah.
Rachel.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything for me at 2:00 on the 13th of June at that court, is there? At the magistrate.
I can't see anything on the system.
Yeah.
And then also, I wouldn't read obviously anything on the system anyway because it's not a criminal matter. There's only very rare instances when these cases would appear on our systems. In most cases, they do not because council tax matters are not criminal matters.
No, I know. So how does that work? Does the council just hire a room, and does the council just pull us in?
I really don't know because we don't deal with non-criminal because I'm not sure. That's why whenever we get matters regarding them, we advise people to speak with the local authority. The only instance really in which we provide any assistance kind of regarding a council tax hearing would be if you called and said, okay, that hearing on the 13th of June, I cannot attend, then what we would advise you to do is to send the court an email and say, I can't attend the hearing on this date for these reasons. Other than that, we'd advise you to speak with the local authority because we don't know.
Okay, so Shay, what do you think I can do? Because the local authority is ignoring me. They took me to the court on the 7th of March, and there was 3 people sitting in this courtroom, and they said this is not a hearing, it's not set up for a hearing, and I was not allowed to put my case forward as to why I disputed any liability for this bill that was incorrect. Then they told me I'd got the liability order, whatever I'd said anyway, and were doing enforcement officers. Then they scheduled another court hearing, another summons for the same courthouse in May. And I said, well, I'm not going to attend it because you wouldn't let me talk in March. And they had reduced the amount at this point and admitted silently that the amount was incorrect, but still wasn't correct. And then I didn't attend the one in May. And now they've sent another one summoning me for next week. So what I want on the 13th of June. So what I want to confirm is who's summoning me? Is it the magistrates' court? Because it sounds like it's the local authority and they're just hiring a room at the court because you've just said the court doesn't summon me, the local authority does. So
You receive a summons from basically when a matter goes to court, there is someone who takes that matter to court. If it's a criminal case, it might be the CPS. If it's say in relation to like a lower level offence, which is like a train ticket offence, it might be like a train company. And when it comes to council tax movements, as far as I understand, the people who'd be taking it to court would be the local authority. The summons would be to appear at a magistrate's court on a certain day, and that would be the local authority who are, they're the ones who are taking that to court.
But it's not going to court, is it? Because if it was going to court, I would be able to put my case forward and have a courtroom assigned, and my name would be there. So it's not a court. So from the sounds of it, Shay, you're saying that the local authority are taking me to the magistrate's court in their own individual.
What I mean is there is going to be a hearing in which something will happen to the liability order by the sounds of it. I can't really provide you with much further information really regarding this because we've not council tax matters. I don't know how they work.
But this is all the local authority you're saying, and it's not the magistrate's court, because otherwise you'd see it on your system and you'd see my name and the court number and everything. Is that right?
It's not a criminal matter.
Yeah.
So
I know that. I haven't committed a crime.
We only deal with criminal matters in the magistrate's court. So, okay, so this is basically...
How does that work? If you only deal with criminal matters at the magistrate's court, and I'm not a criminal and I haven't committed a crime, but I'm being summoned to the magistrate's court, I'm getting really confused now. I don't understand that. Why is this going to the magistrates?
There are some civil matters which are also dealt with at magistrate's court. There are also some non-criminal matters which are also dealt there. We only deal with criminal matters if anything that appear on our system. When it comes to council tax, we'd advise that someone speaks to the local authority regarding that. It's some information kind of regarding how the liability orders work regarding council tax. This is kind of the most information I can really give to you regarding this. So if someone owes council tax, the council can ask a magistrate for a liability order.
Yeah.
This is a legal demand for payment. The person who owes the council tax can go to the court to give their reasons for not paying if they want to.
That I understand, but I went to court in March and I tried to say I don't owe them this money. They've took away my single adult discount, for example, and just whammed the full amount on, and I'm disputing that bill and that charge, and I'm not liable. And they said, we're not set up as a court to hear you. We're just here to grant the liability order. If you have a dispute, you have to talk to the local authority. So that's not a court hearing to me.
Well, yeah, I don't know, because we're not trained to deal with council tax matters. I don't know. You need to speak to the local authority.
Okay.
The phrase I can give you that says this: if a defendant contacts the CTSC by phone or email, so we're the CTSC, the Court Tribunal Service Centre.
Yeah.
So if a defendant contacts us via phone or email regarding the administration or queries about their case, their council tax case,
Yeah.
then the defendant would need to contact your local council or local authority who is prosecuting the case to answer these queries for council tax matters. The court only makes a decision on whether the council has established that the person being prosecuted is responsible for paying the tax. So any concerns regarding this, you would need to speak to a local authority about.
Yeah, no, but they're really incompetent and ignoring me. So I thought if the...
Give you any more information regarding this?
Okay. So the magistrate itself is not summoning me to court. The local authority is. And I thought liability orders did not exist and they had gone out of circulation.
Again, I don't know. I'm not
Okay.
trained. We're not trained to deal with these. You would need to speak to your local authority. You
Yeah.
may wish to seek legal advice from elsewhere, such as Citizens Advice Bureau.
Well, the Citizens Advice Bureau have also tried to speak to South Oxford District Council on my behalf, and they've been ignored as well.
Right, okay.
So we're just getting ignored. I'm just getting summoned repeatedly.
In terms of identifying which courtroom it's in, you can potentially put that in writing to the court. They may be able to assist you with that. But also, if your counsel has turned around and said they're not going to know until the day anyway, then I imagine that's also true for the court.
No, the council haven't told me that. They've just said they don't know. We just go there on the day, and I'm emailing the council, emailing the magistrates. I'm getting receipts, but I'm not getting replies. So I don't know what to do. I can't just keep turning up. It's not local.
Further information regarding this.
Right.
You'll need to speak to either a local authority. You can send more emails to the court and see if they can confirm some details to do with which room is taking place in itself. But otherwise, you would need to speak to your local authority.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, the council are the ones who ask the magistrate for a liability order. They're the ones who are going to the magistrate for that. Okay.
So the local authority. Okay, so the local authority have fully organised this court summons, and somebody will attend on the day.
Any further questions you have about this, you'll need to speak to your local authority about.
Yeah, I know, Shay. But the thing is, I'm getting ignored by the emails to the magistrates court, and I'm getting ignored by my emails to the local authority, and I'm getting a summons to court. But no, I've been to court lots of times before. I divorced a lawyer, right? And when I went to Reading County Court, I was able to ring that court up and say, on this date, at this time, I'm at court. Is there anything else I need to bring? No. Do you need any special needs? Do you need space for a laptop or anything like that? No. I could have a conversation with them. I don't understand why I'm being summoned to court and I'm not able to get any information on anything booked in my name and talk to the court. Because if the court is dealing with this, if the magistrates, if the courthouse at Speedwell Street is summoning me to court and dealing with this, I should be able to liaise with somebody at the courthouse on my side of this summons. I don't go to the person summoning me to court. Like when you go to court, you've got two parties.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think I'm going to reiterate this at one further time. We are not trained to deal with council tax matters, and I do not work at the court. So if you have any concerns regarding that and you want to speak with the court, you'll need to send them an email. If they've not responded to you, you'll need to send a follow-up email and just kind of reiterate your concerns. Otherwise, all that we can advise you do is you speak with your local authority.
Okay. So, Shay, Forget about speaking to the local authority because they've just gone into ignore me mode and just keep doing 3 liabilities in a row now. And for 3 months, I have been chasing up an email in the magistrate's address. I've had 1 reply on the 22nd of April saying, we've got your emails, we'll investigate and get back to you with your queries. And then I've been ignored from then on. 3 months of emailing the court, and yet I'm being summoned constantly to court. I'm a single mom. I'm struggling to work. I can't keep doing this. And the court, if the court is summoning me to a hearing, I need to be able to get some questions and information on that court case. The local authority's no good. They're the ones I'm up against in the court hearing, right?
Information regarding the hearing. Any other questions regarding the nature of the case or stuff like that, you will need to speak with local authority about, okay?
Yeah, but I can't even get the court to confirm the hearing date and time for me. I'm not even getting that. I'm getting told my case number and account number doesn't exist on the system. So who can I talk to?
40 days will be able to assist you there.
Or any other day?
You will need to send an email, as I told you, you will need to send an email to the court. If they're not responding to you, you will need to send another email. Ultimately, I don't know what information they can give you anyway because I don't work at the court. I don't know what information they actually have regarding council tax limiters. It may be the case that they don't even know which court will be or anything like that because I don't know how it works on their end.
Well, I don't, and that's why I want to know. Yeah.
What you need to do is speak with your local authority, okay? There's no other assistance I can provide you today with regards to this. Unfortunately, you'll need to either speak with a local authority or you need to send a follow-up email.
Yeah, I've sent follow-up emails for 3 months and I'm not getting anywhere. So I spent 2.5 hours trying to speak to somebody who talks on the court's behalf. Like the family court and the county court all have a service centre like yourselves where you can ring up, speak to them, ask questions like, what's my courtroom? How big is it? Can I bring some support? And I get answers. I'm not even getting the case number or account number recognised anywhere.
Fundamentally, where you come to today, we don't deal with council tax matters. I can't help you with this, unfortunately, because we don't deal with council tax queries. We're not trained to deal, but we don't have access to that information. I understand you're not getting a response from the court, and it's frustrating. All we can say is send them another email or speak to a local authority. That's what you need to do with this, unfortunately.
Well, I've done that since January. Yeah, okay, Sharon. I appreciate you trying to explain things to me. But just to confirm then, Shay, the case number and account number doesn't exist from your system that you can find, correct?
It wouldn't exist. It's not a criminal matter, okay? So that's why it's not on our system. It's all, it doesn't exist. It's just we don't have access to council tax matters, okay?
Yeah, but you said you deal with some non-criminal matters too. So if I have a court hearing in a case...
For the most part, we do not. We don't deal with them. Because sometimes they're not on there, but in most cases they're not. Because, we don't deal with criminal matters.
Right. So I think this confirms my suspicion then that the court is just renting out rooms for the council to hire and intimidate and bully me into things without a proper hearing or a proper court being involved. Because I can't get any engagement from the courthouse on Beeswell Street in Oxford in any way via email or via telephone. So they're not engaged. It's only the local authority. They're hiring a room and they're intimidating me into paying a bill that is under dispute.
Seeking legal advice on this. Okay, because I'm not legally trained to comment on this. I don't know. We're not trained to deal with council tax limiters. Okay?
Yeah, I am. I'm aiming actually to take the local authority to court on this matter, but that's why I was told to ring through, try and get information on what the courtroom is, what my court case is, what the hearing is, and how it's going to be set up and done. And I'm not able to get that information, so I'm just going to go back to the solicitor and say, look, I tried to get that information, but I can't. But I've been advised that I have to at least try to get that information first. I've spent 2.5 hours today going around with different numbers and everyone's saying that the case number and account number doesn't exist, which makes me very confident that the local authority are just making up these numbers and putting it on a printed out letter pretending it's a court hearing summons. Because I've been to court a few times and I divorced a lawyer and this does not make sense at all. And 2.5 hours talking to people who represent the courts as a customer service centre, 2.5 hours and not being able to get an answer or my case number or account number recognised at the court on all the different numbers is bizarre. So I don't know what else to do. Is there any other final tips or help you can give me? Because I'm just spinning in circles here.
the local authorities to send another email to the court.
They're really not responding and incompetent, so that's no go. Yeah.
Only advice I can give you.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I've been doing that for 3 months. I've been doing it for a year and getting nowhere with them. These people are very unprofessional. But all right, thank you for your time, Anisha. Sorry?
Any time can help you, was that everything?
No, that's everything. I was just looking to see if you've got any final tips. All right, thank you very much. Cheers, bye. That is shocking, isn't it? That is absolutely shocking. So I've spent 2.5 hours ringing all the different numbers that I can possibly be given or find for the courthouse, Speedwell Street, Oxford, OX1 1RZ, where I have hereby been summoned for a hearing at 2 o'clock on the 13th of June in 2025 to show why a liability order should not be made against me for the 3rd time in a row. I turned up on March the 7th and told them why I wasn't liable. And I told them I wasn't going to go to the one in May because there was no point because I'm not allowed to speak. And I asked the magistrates, if this is a court summons, why am I not allowed to put my case forward as to why I dispute this bill? I had no response. And I don't know if the May liability order actually went ahead or not. But now I've been summoned again in June. And every email I send, and you've just heard them going on and on and on about how, contact them. Everyone I contact, no one can answer. The case number and the account number on my liability order summons doesn't exist. So I'm taking this as absolute proof, and you can hear it from them themselves. I think this is absolute proof that the council really are just printing off these letters. They are doing it all themselves on their own authority without the magistrates being involved except to rent them a room. And I think because so many of us are now trying to get them to say, is this in my name? Is this a court hearing in my name? Is there a room in my name? That they are clamming down and saying we're not trained to deal with council tax, we are not able to give you that and we can't see it on our system. So I think this is how they're handling it now because so many of us are doing it. So keep up the good work, guys, because we've got to question this. This is so dodgy. This is really, really dodgy what they are doing. And I hope you enjoyed this because I'm like flabbergasted. This is absolutely really poor behaviour, and this is the magistrates enabling the councils to do this. So I suggest we all just keep doing it. We all keep questioning what is this liability order that isn't even in circulation anymore. And if you have a look at the liability order, it is really just a printed off. I could mock up an actually more professional looking one than these. I've got my personal information, so I'm not going to send it, but I could knock up more professional copies. It's not letter headed. It's not signed properly. It's signed by a justice's legal advisor who works for the local authority. I looked him up. He's on LinkedIn. So he's got no history, knowledge or anything. He's employed and works for the South Oxford District Council, and he signed this magistrate's letter. I mean, I don't even see how this is legal. You've got all that argument between lawful and legal. I don't even see how this is legal. This seems fraudulent to me because you've got a justice legal advisor who works for South Oxford District Council signing a letter pretending that you're being summoned by the magistrate's court, but actually they've reworded it. I need to get the other one out because this looks different. I think they're trying to protect themselves from what we're all highlighting they're doing, because they've changed it now. The HM Courts and Tribunal Services is not on the summons letter. They've moved the letterhead. If I try and cover this up, look. So I've got a letter here saying, with the letterhead there, HM Courts and Tribunal Services. And that is on a standard letter going, application for a liability order that is not associated with the actual liability order that they have sent through here. And if you see, there's no Justice, Magistrates Court or anything, so it actually is just printed off by the local authority, signed by a Justice's legal advisor who works for them, because I've checked on LinkedIn and he does, and a letter from them telling me that I've been summoned to the magistrates. But as you've just heard, the magistrates don't deal with this, they don't get involved in it, you have to talk to your local council. So there you go, that is your proof that it's not a court hearing or summons. My God. You know, because otherwise, I've rang the family court, the county court, any other justice. You can give them an account number, you can give them a reference number, you can give them your name, you can give them the date of court hearing. They can find you on the system. As you can see, there's nothing on the system. They're not trained to do that. And so actually, I think it's utterly despicable that the magistrates will allow the council to hire a room to intimidate and extort money out of people on the pretense that they are being summoned by the actual court. That is despicable behaviour. Shame on the magistrates' court, and shame on the councils, and shame on everyone for letting them get away with this, because actually it's not legal, is it? It's not right. So tell me what you think. But all this palaver that I've been listening to about the council, it seems to be making sense. It seems fraudulent. So I seem to just be getting the cold shoulder now. They've failed at reporting me to CPS. I don't care. They failed at saying you'll go to prison. Why? It's very clear. You've heard it on that call. It's not a criminal offence. I have not committed a crime. I am disputing a bill that I don't believe I owe. I don't want to pay all of it. And that's actually just relating to the couple of years that I owe a little bit on, because they've took away my single adult discount, etc. Let alone me questioning what they're wasting our money on. I'm not going to work hard for incompetent people to waste my money like that. It's bad enough that the government's doing it with the NHS and everything, you know, it's crazy. But yeah, they don't recognise my account number, my case number. It's all made up by the council, printed on that letter, doesn't exist anywhere in the courts. That's not lawful, it's not due process, it's not genuine. And this is the third liability order I've had this year. First one in March, second one in May, third one in June. I think they just tried to break you down. And I think this is the criminal system anyway, where this is why celebrities go viral and nasty with each other when they get divorced, because it's not about fairness, justice or law. It's about trying to break you down until you give in and just give the other party what they want. So I'm not scared. I'm not just going to give in. I'm not going to give the other party what they want. And I'm not going to pay money I don't owe. I will pay my way. I will contribute a lot, but I will not pay money that I do not owe. And I think their behaviour is pretty shocking. So I think I'm very going to enjoy. Sorry, there's loads of flies in here today. I left the doors open because it was a lovely day. I'm going to enjoy, taking them to court for making me lose time. The 2.5 hours I spent today trying to locate this in the court that doesn't actually exist, I'm going to claim back. So there you go. What can I say? Shocking, right? Let me know what you think. And if you've rang them, spoke to them, put a video up, share it. We have to highlight how we in the UK are being abused here. We are being taken for granted. They're taking the mickey. And I'm absolutely flabbergasted that they think they can keep getting away with it. Times are changing, baby. You councils are going to have to change with the times, because we're all waking up. We're not stupid anymore, and we're not just going to pay it for a peaceful life. We've all had so much of this non-stop extra charges. No other place in Europe is taking the Michael like the UK is. And we're all just going to start, empowering ourselves and saying no. So They have no legal standing to put me in prison because there's no criminal charge here. You've just heard that yourself. I haven't committed a crime or anything, even though they've reported me to CPS for child abuse and neglect because they really, really want to try and make me out to be a criminal. You know, hardworking, single parent, worked all my life, paid my way all my life, and they're trying to make out that I'm a criminal. Well, you know what? Bring it on. Because I'm not scared. I don't like bullies. I don't like mean little girls who cackle in courtrooms thinking they've got one over somebody else. I will stand my ground, and I do believe that if you are scared, they're going to get you. And I know a lot of people who are scared, and that's what feeds this corrupt system. So, I'm not scared. There's nothing anyone has any power over me for or to do. And I hope this has been helpful to some people because, well, we shall see. Third liability order. No sign of any bailiffs, despite all the threats of bailiffs and police coming to my door. If they do, I will decide, depending on how I feel on the day, whether I give them a mouthful from an upstairs window or whether I just ignore them, and it will probably mostly be decided by whether or not I'm on a meeting. But I am absolutely appalled by that. Shameful, isn't it? But I really did just want to prove a point. And yeah, this piece of paper has absolutely nothing to do with the courts, the magistrates' courts. They can't find the case number. The account number isn't accurate, doesn't have a letter after it. Invalid. This is not lawful, and it's probably fraudulent and illegal. But I'm not legally qualified, so I would like somebody else to let me know. But I have done a lot with procurement and contract work and statements of work and all sorts. It's part of my professional expertise, and I deal with legal contracts in that manner all the time. And this is a load of poppycock, as we English like to say. So, don't think I've wasted 2.5 hours of my life, because I think this has been quite fruitful, and it's been really good to record it and share it with you lot in the hope that it will help you and inspire you to realise the games that they play and how far they can go and what power they really have. And if you look at it, the only power they have is on a piece of paper that they send to you and how much you get scared. That's the only power they have, is can they scare you? Because how many people would be really scared if they called CPS on them, you know? I don't give a flying monkeys. You know, there are some times I'm so exhausted, it's like I daydream about being sectioned, you know, which I don't mean that to insult anyone else who gets sectioned, but there are just some days that are so bad that I would love to be sectioned, locked up in a little padded room with no one else around me, so I can just meditate all day, have my meals brought to me on a trolley, and at the top of the trolley have a little variety of drugs, and being asked, do you want any drugs to make you dribble today? And I'll be like, oh yeah, why not? Then I'll meditate some more. But I got no cleaning, I got no washing up, I've got no meetings, I've got no angry teenagers, I've got no dog poo, I've got no cat wee. I mean, that's a holiday to me, you know? So take me to prison. I will start a short story book with all the prisoners I get to meet. I will say, tell me your story, I'm going to put a book together. Be like a little holiday. So what can they do to me? Nothing. They have no power over me, because I won't let them, and I don't do fear. I will not let them scare me. So that's my stand anyway. We'll see how we go. And yeah. And if you don't let them in the door, they can't come in. Obviously, different bailiffs are different, but for the county council, it's not a criminal offence. It's not going through the court. You don't exist in the court. The account, The account, stop chewing things up that they shouldn't have again. The account number doesn't exist. It's the wrong account number. The case number doesn't exist because it's not part of the court's magistrates system. It is printed off by your local authority. As the guy kept saying, go speak to the local authority. We don't have anything to do with it. They do it all. It's them. They just hire the room and there's your proof. And if you still think there's no proof in that, I don't know, if I threw a bucket of cold water on you, you'd say it's hot, wouldn't you? So there you go. Have a great day, and I hope you found this helpful. And let me know your experiences and what you found in the comments. Cheers.